Hello everybody, welcome back to Frugal Mama Gardening. Today I wanted to talk about some of the awesome grocery deals that you're going to see hitting the stores in about November. Some may start as early as the end of October, but most of these deals you're going to find somewhere between the beginning and middle of November before Thanksgiving. So you guys don't want to miss this. These deals are stock up worthy. You're going to want to stock up for 3, 6, 12 months. A lot of these items, you're not going to see them any cheaper at any point during the year. So I'm going to actually create a whole shopping list for you guys, and I'm going to link to it down in the comments. I'm also going to add some screenshots here in the video, and I would like to put a list down in the description to make your life easier. So no matter how you want to consume this list, it should be somewhere easy for you to digest, or if you want to print and go to the store in November, I'll have that ready for you. Now, the Thanksgiving season backs right up to Christmas, so we know these seasons are huge for cooking in general. You won't find some of the grilling meats during these sales. You're going to want those during the summer, so stock up on those in the summertime. We're going straight into the baking season. You're going to find seasonings. You're going to find baking ingredients like your sugar and your flour. You're going to find a lot of different meats, particularly ham and turkey, of course. Now, the turkey is going to be biggest during Thanksgiving and the ham during Christmas. However, these sales, they go right up against each other. So some things may be even cheaper during the Christmas sale, but a majority of them are cheapest during the Thanksgiving sale. The idea here is to stock up on the things that you generally use during the holiday season. So if you're cooking a turkey, making dressing, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, rolls, breads, candies, cookies, pies, a great vast variety of things that you use in holiday cooking, you're going to find on sale during these sales. So anything you use throughout the year that you also use during the holiday season, stock up for them now. Now, some cool things to stock up on that you may not think about include celery, onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Preserve them. You can actually dehydrate a lot of them. You can freeze a lot of them. You can even pre-cook and then preserve them. So with the potatoes, you might want to slice them up and throw a few on the dehydrator and use those for, say, scalloped potatoes. You can also use them for mashed potatoes. You would just have to rehydrate them first. You can take them and cut them up and prepare French fries. The sweet potatoes, you could freeze those as well, and you could dehydrate those. We use a lot of sweet potatoes here, so whenever they go down to, say, I think it's like 39 cents a pound, that is a huge savings whenever you compare it to 99 cents a pound, $1.19 a pound. Those are usually the prices we see around here. It just kind of varies throughout the year. And then for onions, you will not see them cheaper than you do during the Thanksgiving season. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, they're going to sell a lot of those, so they knock the price down. And on top of that, the harvest season for onions ended shortly before that. So they're going to push as many of those onions as they can because their warehouses are going to be busting at the seams with onions. So they're going to want to push some of those out in order to reduce the number of onions that they have rotting. Apples, same way. You're going to see a lot of, truthfully, the apple sales should be coming right about now. They may have already started in your area. They may not have yet. But the apples are going to be at their lowest right about now because that's going to be when they're coming in out of the orchards. And the farmers, the warehouses, they're wanting to sell off a bulk of the excess at a cheaper price because over time, this produce will spoil. Now, apples, they are kept throughout the year. Those apples that you've bought in your grocery store in the middle of spring, they were probably from last year. So just keep in mind that this produce that you're buying in the store, it has probably been in the warehouses for a while. It's probably been in storage for a while, and it's going to continue to be. So the produce that you will buy later on, probably the same produce. So keep that in mind. Now, there are some exceptions. There's fresh stuff that won't keep long, but for the long-term storage crops, the onions, sweet potatoes, the carrots, the apples, all those long-term storage crops, you're usually going to see them coming in around the same time. So go ahead, buy up a bunch of them, preserve them, put them in an ideal storage location. If you have a cellar, most people don't have a root cellar, but if you have a cellar or a basement or a garage you could keep them in, those are great places to keep those crops fresh. So it's the same principle as if you harvest it from your very own backyard. Okay, so aside from those items, of course, we're going to have prepared items that are in stores. Some of the processed items that you're going to see in the stores are going to include chicken broth, cream of soup, so cream of celery, cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. You can see those on sale. Bouillon and chicken stock, seasoning bases. So seasonings, you're going to have all of your core holiday seasonings such as sage, apple pie, pumpkin pie spice, your salt, your pepper, thyme, oregano. They're going to have all of those seasonings on sale. They're even going to have some that don't really apply. So you're going to have like your cumin, your coriander. You're going to have those on sale as well. So stock up while you can. Now, I know most of you, considering the fact that this is a frugal channel, I know most of you probably aren't going to buy saffron. We don't buy saffron, but I even saw saffron included in these seasoning sales. So if it was 50% off your spices and seasonings, the saffron was 50% off. So if you use that, that is the best time to buy it. So there's you a big heads up if you happen to use that. Now you're also, like I said, all your baking needs, so sugar, flour, cornmeal, baking powder, baking soda, your pie crust, your crumbs, your crackers, you're even going to find your tins, your pie tins, your roasting pans. You're going to find all that on sale. You'll even see sales in the perishable stuff like milk and eggs. So make sure you stock up on all those. And another great one goes in with the seasonings is vanilla extract. So I don't use the imitation, I actually use the real vanilla extract. And whenever you're buying brand name, sometimes that can get a little expensive. So it's good to stock up, especially if you bake a lot of cakes, cookies, pies. Great to have on hand. I can go through vanilla extract very fast whenever I'm actively baking. So another one that's probably common sense would be the canned veggies. Now, I do like to keep a lot of canned veggies on hand. I don't really prefer to can my veggies. I like to freeze them. I prefer to take all my garden fresh veggies and freeze them because that preserves the flavor best, in my opinion. Now, on top of that, a lot of things are pressure canned, and I'm going to be honest with you. I have a pressure canner and I haven't used it yet. I have a glass top stove and it's not really recommended to mix the two. I had a standard stove before that, but it went out and we were looking at glass tops. That's what we bought, and I felt like I made a mistake after. I mean, yeah, it's easier to clean, but I think I'd prefer if we would have stayed with the standard stove. So I got a pressure cooker I don't use, so I freeze everything. I freeze everything. So the canned veggies are a great thing to have on hand in case of storms or emergencies. So during these sales, I can get the brand name veggies for about 50 cents a can. So I stock up on corn, green beans, spinach, turnip greens, peas. Those are my big ones. You could do the potatoes. I don't use too many canned potatoes. In my opinion, it's cheaper just to buy potatoes in bulk in the produce section, just buy in bulk that way. And of course, whenever you look at things like green beans, if you're looking in the produce section, they tend to cost more per pound than they do canned. So some things you get cheaper in the can because it's more perishable. They're able to sell it to you canned year round. Whereas if it's fresh, it's only going to last like a week or two on the shelf. So of course, they're going to can a lot of stuff like that to make more money off of it with fewer losses. Now, again, back to the root veggies, potatoes, sweet potatoes, apples, onions. Those all stay good for quite some time on the shelf. So you'll see those sold fresh at a cheaper price. So whenever it comes to food, you really have to think about how long does something last. If it lasts a while on the shelf, you're going to find it at a cheaper price fresh. However, if it's something that is perishable and won't last long, you're going to find it cheaper canned. So keep that in mind whenever you're shopping and trying to save some money during the November sales. So on your turkeys, don't forget to buy 2 or 3 of them to keep throughout the year in your deep freezers. If you do not have a deep freezer, then another way that you could preserve them is to go ahead and cook 1 or 2 turkeys, shred it and put it into freezer bags, compress it down, remove the bones. So that'll save space in your freezer that you do have. All right, so some of the big things I plan on getting this year. Canned veggies, I usually try to get flats of them. I'll get between 12 and 24 cans of each variety. So I'll have anywhere between 6 and 10 flats of veggies. I actually still have some from the last sale, so it works out quite well. I'll also be stocking up on things like chicken broth and seasonings. I try to get my sage and stuff because sage is not super cheap. It's about $3 for a little tin, and if you knew how much sage I go through. So I like to buy as much as I can during that sale. It's usually about 50% off. So I'll go ahead and buy several tins. Another thing I plan to stock up on, I would like to get some carrots, celery, potatoes, onions, and I would like to cut them all up and dehydrate them and create like a soup mix. I like to do chicken and dumplings. It's kind of a cross between chicken stew, chicken and dumplings. So I like to make that during the winter a lot. And what I generally do is I'll bake chicken, but I'll bake twice as much chicken, and I'll take that extra chicken and all I've got to do is shred that, mix it up with some veggies, some broth, drop in some dumplings, and so buying those veggies in bulk and preserving them like that, it'll be a super easy, super simple way to make a giant vat of dehydrated mix to use for that meal. And of course, it's suitable for other meals as well. Anything that you would need mixed veggies for. Turkey is another big thing I like to stock up on. Shredded, great for a lot of things, including casseroles. I'll get some flour, a little bit of flour, not too awful much, because I like to rotate that. I don't like to keep too much flour on hand. It does take up a lot of space, especially if you want to keep it in your freezer. So I don't really stock up on that, but it's an excellent item to stock up on. Sugar is another great one, but for me, sugar's already on the cheaper side, and we really don't use much sugar here. We actually use brown sugar, but that's because we cook a lot of oatmeal. We love oatmeal here, so we can go through brown sugar pretty quickly as a family with the oatmeal. Sugar's a no-go. Brown sugar, yes, but I'm thinking about actually stocking up on molasses during this next sale and making our own brown sugar. That'll be fun to do. I'm not really sure if oats go on sale during the sales. I haven't seen it, but if it does go on sale, we are going to stock up on so many oats. We use a lot of steel-cut oats, a lot of old-fashioned oats. That's what we make our oatmeal with. So I've done a lot of rambling today, but hopefully I've given you guys some great ideas for the sales that are coming in November. And again, check out the list of different items that I'm going to include in the different formats I talked about. I want to make sure that you guys get the best deals that you can, save as much money as we do on groceries, because groceries are already expensive. Prices went up even further this year. I've heard rumors that one particularly large food company here in America actually sent their prices up by 10% on average as a whole. So grocery prices are still rising like crazy, and some of the prices never went back down after the whole COVID fiasco. So we're not only dealing with the higher prices that we had due to the food shortages, the interruptions in the food supply chain. We were already dealing with that, and now we're dealing with even more rising costs. So in my opinion, I feel like helping you guys to save money on groceries is one of the most important things that I can do for you guys as a creator. And if you guys have any questions about anything I've talked about in this video, or if you have anything that you would like my opinion on that I didn't cover in this video, I didn't script this video, so there may be several points I've missed. But if you would like to leave comments beneath this video, I would be happy to answer them and point you in the right direction. Or if you have a question about something that you use a lot of, that you want to know when in the year you should catch it on sale. For example, if you wanted to know about ketchup, and the answer to that would be somewhere around May and June, right as grilling season kicks off. This is the best time to buy condiments, for example. So if you have a question about anything, just ask down in the comments. I'd be happy to answer it. Don't forget to get a copy of the shopping list, whether you screenshot it, download it, print it, memorize it, whatever you got to do. Don't forget to stock up on some of these grocery deals during November. And this will be at pretty much any grocery store around you. The bigger chains like Kroger are usually the ones that I go to. So some of these deals that I see at Kroger. And I will probably give you guys an update closer to time with some of the deals that I'm seeing live at some of my local grocery stores. So again, I've probably rambled on here for too long. But if there's anything I didn't cover, do not be afraid to ask. I'd be happy to answer. Thank you guys so much for dropping into my channel. If this was helpful and you want to see more of it, just let me know. I'd be happy to make more of these videos.